Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. Today I've got a collection of iconic firearms. These are iconic for one reason or another. It's taken years to assemble this collection. Not all of these are readily available, and no, I didn't just hop into my Lamborghini and run down to the store and buy a place out. I don't have a Lamborghini, and it wouldn't really even be easy to do. Some of these are readily available, like that Glock 17 over there. You can find them in any gun store. Some are a little harder to find. But these are all iconic for one reason or another. Some of the reasons they're iconic are movies. So this Walther PPK, this is a PPKS, is popular because of a certain spy, a British spy. This particular one is chambered in .380, which is the one that they favored. I will tell you that shooting this in .32 is much more pleasant. And other than that, I mean, this gun doesn't have a lot of advantages, but it is popular because of that movie relationship. Another one that is popular because of movies and to some extent video games is this Desert Eagle. This one is chambered in .50 AE, which is the caliber to have a Desert Eagle in. But this thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's huge, it's heavy, it's cumbersome. It's a single stack, it only holds 8 rounds. The ammo is expensive. This particular one has a muzzle brake on it, which makes it even easier to handle. But this one is popular because you'll see it in all kinds of movies. When you got a character, a bad guy or a good guy, that needs to have an absolutely ridiculously huge gun, this thing comes out. And of course, video games. These come in all sorts of different versions. They come in even one that's gold tiger stripe, which is actually pretty cool looking, but they're expensive and difficult to maintain. Some of them have become popular for both reasons. So this Colt Python is popular because of what it was originally. When it first came out, it was one of the first revolvers with really a very match-tuned trigger and a large format. It was a very popular gun when it came out, became iconic on its own. Then, when the zombie craze hit and every TV show out there was zombies, one of the more popular ones had the main character carried one of these. And that, of course, added to the allure of it. Now, the one in my hand's not an original. It's the second, the rehash, where they came back with them in the late 2000s. The original ones are very hard to find. But this is an authentic Colt, so it's made by Colt. So it's not a knockoff, but it isn't one of the actual original production runs. It's when they restarted production. Now, of course, another reason why a gun might become iconic is its use by militaries. This is an FNX-45 used by different special forces militaries. This particular one has a threaded barrel and is optics ready, but this gun has been around in one version or another for quite a long time and has seen actual use by actual militaries. This one was purchased new as a civilian gun, so this particular one in my hand doesn't have the military history. But the gun in general has been used by a number of special forces, and that's what made it an iconic gun. Another one that is popular because of its special forces connection is this SIG P226 Mark 25. The Mark 25 is identifiable by the anchor, and it's designed for, of course, Marine use. And it was used by U.S. Special Forces and is popular because of that. Now, it does happen to be a good gun. So is that FNX-45. So unlike that PPKS that I showed that had an iconic status but really isn't overall that great of a gun, this got a very good trigger, it's very reliable, it's very accurate, it's easy to shoot well, just like that FNX-45. And of course you can't forget police forces. So the Glock 17 became widely adopted by a number of police forces. The Glock 17 is also kind of infamous in a little way in that it actually caused laws to be changed because it created the panic among lawmakers that this thing was going to be invisible to airport x-ray. It was just going to slide right on through and be undetectable by metal detectors. So laws were changed to mandate certain minimum amounts of metal in a gun. And I tell you, it doesn't matter what size, even the little Glock 42, there's metal in it just to make it work. That well exceeds that requirement. So that was all a whole lot of fluff over nothing. But not too many guns in and of themselves have laws made specifically because they came into existence. This is popular with civilians, this is popular with police, and these have been around in some variation for a very long time. Another one that's been popular with police forces, especially overseas, is this Browning high power. This is actually a Browning high power that was carried by a police overseas, police or military. I have no way of knowing exactly who carried it. But I didn't buy this one as new. I bought this one as a bringback from being actually used. There's a lot of holster wear on it. That's really smooth. It works reliably. It's in excellent condition as far as functional. But you can tell this thing had a hard life. This went out every day with somebody in a holster, probably drawn hundreds of times at ranges and things like that. But the high powers in general do have quite a bit of history for not only kind of groundbreaking in being a reliable semi-automatic in 9mm, but also their popularity with police. Another one that's kind of famous and infamous at the same time is this Luger. This Luger was popular with the German military, especially during World War II. And you've heard a 9mm Luger. That the 9mm we carry that we use today is called 9mm Luger. Well, here's the Luger. This is an original one. This is one that was used by a military, and it's older than I am. This gun and the holster that goes with it predates me by probably about 20 years. So, and it's actually in awesome condition considering how old it is. Kind of a testament to the manufacturing quality of it, that it can be in this good a condition and actually have been used. There you can see holster wear on it in different parts of it. But if you're going to have a collection of iconic guns, this is one that needs to be in it. Is this a great gun for home defense or concealed carry? I mean, obviously it'll do the job, but no, that's not what this is all about. This is iconic because it is really just a very cool gun. Now here's a gun that has use in civilian, it has use in police, but it also has become very popular in competition. This is the CZ75. This is the BD, and it just says that the safety is a decocker. But the CZ75 and its numerous variants have become extremely popular with competition crowds. And in fact, you've seen several CZs on the channel. And all of them actually fundamentally trace back to this CZ75 design. It's a very pleasant to shoot gun. It's easy to shoot well. The CZs in general are very reliable. And if you go look at a competition, you're probably going to see some flavor of this, at least one of them, if not quite a few of these in some variation. Back to Special Forces. This is the H&K Mark 23. It's chambered in 45 ACP. It's big. It actually kind of reminds me of the Desert Eagle in its slightly ludicrous proportions. It's not quite as ludicrous as the Desert Eagle, but it's up there. It's not too far away. And this has kind of the uniqueness of being a combat handgun that was actually designed to, instead of being used as your weapon of last resort, to actually be used to engage the enemy and have the accuracy capability to do that. So the big gun, heavy gun, not a very inexpensive gun. To talk about what I mean by the proportions, when I get a firing grip on this, you see there's quite a bit of gap between my fingers and my palm. It's just a big old thing. And if I were to grab the Desert Eagle, similarly, so I got probably about 3 fingers with the Desert Eagle. I get about 2.5 fingers really with the HK Mark 23. But if I take something, this is a full-size handgun, and notice it's a significant difference in the overall size of the thing. So the Mark 23 combat handgun, match grade, and big. These are just kind of cool looking. Now if you're going to go for something that has a kind of a uniqueness to it, this is the FN57. This is the actual 57, and it's not they don't use the numbers. They actually use the words 57, and they capitalize the first letter and the last letter. And this one here, the grip is a little bit wide, but it's not that thick. But this actually has the 5.7 cartridge, which is almost a little mini rifle round. It's a bottleneck cartridge. Typically you only see these in rifles. It's a rifle round in a handgun. And there is a rifle that goes with it, the PS90, that uses the same ammo, so you can have your handgun and your rifle using the same ammo. It was designed with the intent to be used by military. They've become kind of popular with civilians because they're cool. The round is a very fast, kind of a nasty little round, and you get 30 of them in the magazine. So you got quite a bit of capacity in a very, very small gun. The way I misspoke, it's 20 of them in the flush mag, but that's still quite a bit of ammo in such a light, small package. These have also been recently manufactured, a variant of this by a couple other manufacturers recently. It had a little brief surge in popularity. Now, let's go to a classic, a true classic, the Colt 1911. Now, you've seen lots of 1911s on the channel, and they're all great, especially a lot of the Springfield Armories that are just awesome. But this is the Colt 1911. This is the one that was the original 1911 that was manufactured for military use and used by the military for many, many, many years. I'm not going to say this is better than the others. In fact, there's a lot of things about those Springfields that are way better overall as far as being a gun than this Colt. But this Colt is the Colt, and that's what kind of makes this iconic. The cool thing about this is the the exact gun that was used by the militaries. If your collection doesn't include a 1911, fix that, because 1911s are just really fun guns to shoot. So hopefully you enjoyed, kind of some ridiculous, a little bit ridiculous on the other end of the spectrum, but iconic guns that in their own right, for one reason or another, kind of have history to them. Beyond that, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click that bell to be notified if you do. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Player, Rumble. We're pretty much everywhere. And thank you.